What's up, Cloud Gamers? Today's Stadia's news video is extremely jam-packed with a lot of little news pieces that have happened since the last time I did a news video, and we're going to cover all of those here, from the live streaming and crowd play finally making its debut this past weekend, achievements on the Stadia app, a few games that are headed to Stadia, 3 months of free Stadia Pro, more countries confirmed headed our way in 2020, and a lot more in this video. So please hit that like button so more people know about how awesome Stadia is, and subscribe to this channel for all things Stadia related. But let's go ahead and start with the infamous crowd play and YouTube live streaming information, as we have quite a bit to unpack with this segment. First, the YouTuber named Juggernaut live streamed this past Saturday featuring crowd play, but he also showed how the interface functions and what it looks like to YouTube, and how possibly live streaming will work. So from the screenshot that I gathered here, there is a few things to know. You enter your ID for your YouTube live stream in the box, and then you have the option to hide notifications over the game or hide the viewer count over the game as well. Then it mentions stream enhancements, which then you can enable crowd play. Now this actually tells me a few things. First thing is that it possibly the actual UI for the YouTube live streaming itself, or at least a segment or a portion of it. Now at the moment, this gentleman was not using Stadia to YouTube stream direct, but the reason this tells me that this is possibly the YouTube live stream UI is the fact that you can turn on and off crowd play within this user interface and do extra things like hide certain notifications. Now I could be completely wrong here, so don't take my word for the absolute truth, but it looks as though this at the very least is a segment of something that you can possibly control within your own YouTube live streams. There was also a few other things to note here. One thing he did is he showcased members only joining crowd play and limiting who can join you, which I found pretty interesting. Also, there is a place in line here, and the user interface for all this is pretty seamless, and it makes a lot of sense. If you don't own Stadia, you will have a prompt for that. If you do have to buy the game, it shows you that, or if you're actually in line waiting to join with the streamer, you get to see all of that as well. All in all, it's looking to come together, and I am personally excited to see all of this, and for the YouTube streaming portion. If this is what we're going to expect with the UI for people to stream, then I feel this will feel pretty simple and easy to pick up and not be so complicated. So personally, I like that, especially for the people who will be new to YouTube streaming. With that said, the last thing to mention is that one other person will be showcasing this feature today, named Kiram Jovian. I think I might have butchered that, who will do this at 5 p.m. Eastern on 8/3/2020, and he will be giving games away for free. But if you end up missing this stream after this video, you can check out his channel for the VOD. I will have a link down below to his YouTube channel. But alright, let's go ahead and finally move on and tackle the rest of the news here, as it looks like Stadia Achievements have rolled out to both the Android and iOS apps, as well as the ability to see your friends' achievements as well. Now we've had this actually on the desktop for quite some time, but now finally you can access this via mobile going forward. It's a great addition and a nice quality of life improvement, so job well done from the Stadia team here, and it has no complaints from me at all. Alright, so we ended up getting an announcement for a really neat looking indie game. We also have a couple other games that got rated for the ESRB, and a huge title that got a confirmed release day, a AAA title. We're gonna go ahead and start though with the indie title that got announced this past week with Spiritfarer. It's a cozy management game about dying. You'll be building a boat that you'll be using to explore, befriending spirits and letting them go into the afterlife, All the while, you'll be farming, mining, fishing, harvesting, cooking, and you'll be doing a lot of crafting. What I feel is a pretty charming indie game, one that I'm definitely digging, and I could see this potentially being the new indie game of the year for Stadia. Then moving on, we also have Borderlands pre-sequel that got rated by Peggy for Stadia, so we might be seeing this one here at some point. My guess is we will. Super Bomberman R got rated as well with the ESRB. And the final thing that I want to point out here is we do have an official release date for Marvel Avengers coming September 4th to Stadia. That's always been the date all around, but we for sure have it confirmed that it is coming day and date to Stadia on that date. So really all positive news here on this front, and I was extremely happy to see pretty much all of this gaming news for games on Stadia. We really are starting to have quite a bit of an abundance here. But okay, next up on the docket, we have People Can Fly, the makers of the game Outriders that is set to make its way onto Stadia next year. They announced the development of a new and original AAA title that they are developing for the next generation consoles, including PCs and streaming platforms. And well, I don't know any other streaming platforms outside of Stadia, so the rest are not really classified as platforms, but they're more like services. But either way, I feel this is a safe bet for a new game headed our way from People Can Fly for Stadia, and I'm happy to see that it's going to be a AAA title and it's going to be something completely original. Can't wait to see what they announce. Alright, and let's move on to a big publisher who reaffirmed their devotion to Stadia. We have Andrew Wilson, CEO and director of EA, had this to say: "We'll continue to extend and enhance the experiences in our live services on all platforms, from console to PC to mobile, and our focus on connecting more players across more platforms will continue as we bring our subscription to Steam, integrate our games with Stadia, and expand support for cross-play and reach platforms with our games." Now this obviously equals great news for Stadia, and maintaining a good relationship with a pretty big publisher like EA is key. All of this is really good news at the moment. We also have confirmed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, FIFA, and Madden that will be headed our way, with also 2 games unannounced. And people have been speculating to what those games even are. Personally, I hope one of them ends up being Star Wars Squadron, but I hope we continue to see even more than just those 5 games, and we see full support for Stadia going forward, including cross-play, which they seem to be devoted to as well. Let's hope this all continues to be a fruitful partnership going forward. Alright, as we're winding down closer to the end of this video, we have a few more things that I wanted to touch on. Right now, if you've purchased a Chromebook within the last few years or you purchase a new one, you are now eligible for 3 free months of Stadia Pro, and this includes the current Stadia users who are already subbed. Now, Chromebooks that have launched after June 17th, 2017 are the ones eligible for these awesome free months. Keep in mind though, if you happen to be someone who is not interested for whatever reason in claiming these free months, I'm going to have a link down below for you to enter your code, and I will redistribute this code to the community. Otherwise, if you are eligible with your own purchases, enjoy 3 free months of Stadia, well, for free. Alright, and let's go ahead and finally move on to the last piece of news here, and we got a curious tweet that went out asking about Stadia not being available in India, which then Stadia responded, "We appreciate your interest. We have no news to share when Stadia will be available in India. We're aiming to support more countries this year. We suggest keeping an eye on our social media." Now, people are under the assumption that the Stadia Twitter team is run by bots. I'm actually here to tell you guys, they directly told me that they don't, or at least that's what a Stadia employee told me. They don't have bots. So this was a human Stadia representative saying they are aiming to get more support out to more countries. Now obviously some of you will probably say, "I don't care. I'm already on the platform. Why should I care?" To which I'm going to tell you, if you're hoping for the health of this platform to be good, and you want more AAA titles to be consistent, and you want more people to play with, You're going to want to see a rollout of more of these countries. As an example, India in this Twitter feed that has a 90% of the gamers who are actually mobile, with the actual number of gamers in this country that has been exploding for years, with hundreds of millions of people playing via mobile. So the potential for so many gamers to join this platform in general here is huge, and I for one was happy to see this news, because since Stadia has launched, there's been no new countries listed and activated for the current 14 outside of that 14. Now the interesting part here will be what countries will be the first to get rolled out outside of that initial 14. I guess time will tell, but I'll be curious and I'll be keeping my ears to the ground on this one. But alright, go ahead and let me know your thoughts on today's news video, as we covered so much here. What is your take on crowd play and the potential UI for the YouTube live streaming? Any of the news that I covered in regards to games? Let me know down below any of this information in this video. I actually want to hear your thoughts. If I don't get time to respond to your comments, that doesn't mean I don't read them, as I read most of what you guys write. Subscribe for more Stadia news and coverage, as well as hit that notification bell. I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the cloud.